If I look nervous, it's because last time I was on this stage, the Spanish Inquisition happened. If you were at ICOM last year. I'm going to give you an update on MRC's activities in trying to audit these large digital enterprises. We've been having some breakthroughs here and there, and I want to just tell you what it's about. First of all, a little bit of history. The Association of National Advertisers in the U.S. has been working on this problem of breaking into these walled gardens for third-party measurement for quite some time. About 2 years ago, they issued a white paper essentially demanding that walled gardens open up to third-party measurement. And actually, some of them did. They came forward and said, well, we're enabling Moat and Double Verify and Integral and Nielsen and other third-party measurements, ComScore. And everybody said, oh, interesting. Then what happened is some bad stuff happened. So there were some disclosures by Facebook, for instance, related to some metrics issues. There are brand safety issues at Google. This stuff is causing people to ask questions about why this stuff could happen. And another important consideration is that these large digital enterprises typically don't adopt measurement standards that are issued by the organizations that were just on the stage in the last panel. People put a tremendous amount of work into, getting these standards right, and a lot of these large digital enterprises just say, we do it our own way. We measure viewability as any pixel on the screen for any amount of time, even if it's a millisecond or something like that. So they're also very globally focused, so it's not like they let every organization, in and open up their walls for measurement. The status is that while some of the enterprises have linked with third-party measurement, those linkages are not typical. So if you're an average publisher out there and you want to be measured by a third party, typically what you would do is put tagging assets on your site or on your ads that are on the site. And basically, that enables the third-party measurer to control the measurement end to end. Well, these large digital enterprises sort of waved the flag, we're going to do third-party measurement, but they actually didn't allow the native tagging assets of these third-party measurers on their site. They said, here's what we'll do. We'll give you the data that shows when the viewable conditions are met. And then you can just take that and report that. And that's not a good thing, because that's not end-to-end measurement. So basically, that baseline signal data, which is in the red line, the first red line, is unaudited, and we're not sure whether that data is appropriate. That's why the originally announced third-party relationships by companies like Facebook and Google, they're really insufficient unless you're auditing the origination of the signaling data from those large walled gardens. Hopefully everybody understands that concept. After some enhanced pressure, because of recent events, the ANA put out an even stronger white paper, called organizations out by name, called them into board meetings. It's a lot of pressure. And we'd been dialoguing with these organizations. Facebook and Google stepped forward and committed to be audited. What that audit covers is the base signal data, the origination of that data on their site, and how that API transfers data to the third-party measures. We also are demanding the auditing of the third-party measures because the ingestion of that data is custom. Because it doesn't originate from their tag, they're used to getting a data feed from their tag. The third-party data now looks different than their tagging data. So that custom ingestion needs to be audited. So that's being audited. What's critical here is the sufficiency of that signal data. Because if you want to advertise consistently on a walled garden, you want to make sure the viewability metrics, the served impression metrics, and other metrics are consistent everywhere and at the same level of reporting granularity. So if I advertise on CNN or ESPN or whatever, and then I also advertise on Facebook, and my campaign spans that, I want those measurement metrics to be apples to apples. That's a key part of the audit, and it's also a very difficult part of the audit. We're actually talking to 8 organizations right now. So Google, Facebook already said they're committed, but we're talking to Amazon, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Snapchat, Twitter. We're talking to Foursquare too. They're a little bit different. They're a location provider, but we're speaking to them. None of those other organizations have committed to anything yet. This is our wish list for the metrics we want audited: served impressions for display, video, desktop, mobile, viewable impressions using our definition, or custom at or above our definition. Display, video, desktop, and mobile, the viewable rates, and filtration. We're trying to force appropriate, general, and sophisticated filtration down to these vendors. You need good filtration. We're also not stopping at impressions. We want to audit audience. So we're asking them to think about auditing audience, reach, and frequency too, and other important custom metrics. What is our goal? Establish the audits of the baseline data, ensure it's consistent and allows consistent metrics, link the data with our existing accredited third-party measurers so that unique processing is accounted for, ensure critical metrics are covered, deliver it to our audit committees, and try to accredit them end to end. That's in process, hopefully, at Google and Facebook to be completed by year end. Anyway, I'll sit down. Laura?
Thanks so much.
Rock and roll.
Apologies, George.
I
think I'm going to have to
I'm
climb up
around
on the
if
port.
people need to ask me questions.